Good morning my friends, my name is Sangram Mohanty. Welcome to my YouTube channel Go Smart. So today in this video we will discuss about a Python project, file name validation of incoming files. We used to store data either in database or in files. In IT projects normally the files are received in a particular directory. Then from that directory we use some technology, middleware technology or any scripting technology to process the data inside those files. So before processing the data we perform an pre-validation. The pre-validation is like file name validation. File name validation like if a file is from a given date or not, if the file is received for the current date or not, or the file name matches a particular pattern or not. If the pre-validation fails, then the file and the data inside the files are not validated going forward, right? So in this project we are performing a pre-validation of the files, like the file name. We are performing a validation of the file names, like if the files are received for a particular date or not, and the file is matching a particular pattern or not. So I have files from two sources, one is from EDH and one is from Oracle. So I will be performing a validation, like for date validation I will be extracting the date values from all these files, and I will check if those files the date from those files have if those files have been received for a particular date or not. So for in this project I considered the date as 08/12/2021 for the time being. So I expect that I received all those files in this given date 08/12/2021. If any of these files are received with a naming convention from a prior date or from a post date, then it will be logged as an error in a log file. Okay, so I have two types of log files also. One is the detail log file and one is the status log file. Detail log file will store the validation status of each file, and the status log file will store the validation status of each type of file. Like each type of file, like core map is a particular type, like core site, all these 3-4 files belong to a particular type of file called core site. So if any validation error happens for a particular type of file, like any of these files have different naming convention or a different date, then the status will be logged as the files have been not received for this particular type of file. Okay, so similarly for transaction map and transaction site. So before performing the validation I am using three packages: OS, RE and datetime. OS I used for listing all the files in a given directory, local files, like this particular directory called local files. RE package is used for regular expression, is like comparing a regular expression. I need to match a regular expression with the name of the files. If it is matching, then it will return me the file name, and if it is not matching, it will return as none, as we will be discussing in this get files function. Datetime for package I used to get the current date format. I have to extract the date format 08/12/2021. Not from extraction from the file, like I want the date like 08/12/2021. Therefore I have used this package datetime. So get files. The purpose of this get file function is to return me the name of the full name of the file if it is matching. If the pattern is matching with the given file, if it is not matching, then it will return me as none. Similarly, getDate function I've used to extract the date from the given file names from each of these files. So moving forward, we will be comparing this date that has been extracted with the current date. Current date I have set it as 08/12/2021. So if I find that any of these files are received in some different date, then error log will be raised, right? Now I'm discussing about the files. In EDH core map, we are only performing the validation of date type, but in core site file we are performing two validations. One is the date validation and one is the zone code validation. Zone code validation is like 19_date, right? So we are comparing this integer 19 or 21 or 22 or 37. We are performing this validation if the files are received from a given zone code. We have 4 zone codes here for our validation. Yeah, here for EDH we have 4 zone codes: 19, 12, 37 and 20. Similarly for Oracle we have 4 zone codes: 19, 21, 37 and 20. If I receive any file from different zone codes, let's say core site EDH 22, so this particular file is received from a different zone code, so this will be logged as an error. This should be logged as an error. Similarly, you can see transaction map. This particular file has been received in different date, 10/12/2021. I expect files to be received from a 08/12/2021. Then this particular file will be logged as an error. Okay, so these two files should be logged as an error. So discussing about my script, I have collected all those files in this variable core map files for core map only. Like I have 2 files like for transaction map and core map. So I expect those 2 files here. How they are collected, I have used a pattern for core map, collecting all those files for core map. Similarly for core site I have used a pattern. For core map I am strictly for collecting all those files from BZ2, so from .csv. So if I receive some file from different type, so let's say this particular file, though it has been received for the given date 08/12/2020, but its type is BZ2, so this particular file will be filtered out because I want all those files that are .csv only and not any other type of file. Similarly for .txt, for core site I have used only .txt files. I want it for only .txt files. Then this setup script for performing validation for core map. As you can see, the validation started for core map. In the try block, I am performing the validation only. Then if any error is logged during the validation, then they are logged in this file detail log table. And finally, block, I am logging the status of all the files from core map into the detail log, into the file status log, as well as to the detail log file, right? Similarly for core site, I am performing 2 types of validation. As I discussed, for core map only date validation, but for core site I am performing 2 validation. One is for date validation and one for zone code validation. So I can show you here. Yeah, this one. If the file has been received for the current date 08/12/2021, then it will log me as the file has been received for today's. We have received a today's file. If the file is received from some different date, it will tell me that no, this particular file is not today's file. Inside this, I am performing a comparison for validating the zone codes here. So if the zone code that is extracted from the given file is inside those set of zone codes 19, 21, 37, 20, then the status of those zone codes will be set to true, that is, it is validated, else they will remain as false. Now finally, likewise for core map, I'm logging the status of all those files for core sites. So if any of these files from core site doesn't satisfy two validations, like date validation and zone code validation, then they will be logged likewise. Like for file detail, they will be logged all those files that doesn't satisfy the criteria. They will be logged here in the file detail. Similarly for file status log, it will be logged as for this particular type of file. Let's say for core site, since one of these files is will fail because it has been received some this file, this file will be is not going to satisfy the condition validation. So if since one of this file will fail, then it will be logged here like no, all the files are not received for core site. So I'm giving you a demo of it. So once I executed the script, it generated two logs here. One is the file detail log and also the status log. So we'll compare each status. Like as I discussed, the file detail log will contain the status of each file, whether the particular file has been validated or not. Similarly, status log will contain the status of each type of file, like all files are received for a particular type of file or not. If files are received, it will be printed as all files are received for particular type. If it is not received all the files for a particular file type, then it will print as all files are not available for a given type of file. So let us go to detail log. As so validation has started for core map. Let's say EDH core map in 0881. I am receiving the file for in the given date, so this should likely pass. But Oracle transaction map in 10 12 21, this should fail, and that has been logged accordingly, is not today's file. And it is mentioning finally that the file 08 Oracle core map in 08/12/2021.file.csv is not received. So validation of core map has been completed. Likewise for core site, I'll perform the validation for each files. Core site in 19, 21, 22, 37. So for transaction site, it will collect all those files from transaction site 19, 20, 21, 37. So we expect the files should be from zone code 19, 21, 20, 37, but we have a file from 22. So this file should not pass through validation, and that has been logged likewise. Like core site 19 has been received, 21, it has been received, 22, though it is from today's date, but it has a different zone code, right? So it has been logged accordingly. Likewise for core site 37, we have the file from 37, is not today's, and EDH core site also 37 is not from today's date, so it has been logged accordingly. Similarly for transaction site, 19/08/12/2021, it is satisfying. 20/08/12/2020, it is also satisfying. 21 zone code 08, it is satisfying. 37/08/12/2021, it is also satisfying. So all files from transaction site are matching. That is how it is logged. And finally we are seeing two logs here below, like file EDH core site 37/08 is not received, 08/12/2021.txt is not received. File EDH core site in 20/08/12 is not received, because we have a file from different location, like instead of 20 we have a file from 2020 22 as logged here, like for 37 we have some different date, right? So like we have discussed here about file detail log and status log. So likewise, so this script is used for validation of file names. If we receive any files in a given location, we can validate it accordingly. Thank you. Please like and subscribe to my channel for more videos. Thank you.